I feel like we talk a lot about an abundance mindset, and for me personally, getting into it was kind of tricky, and there was a lot of trial and error. Uh, hey y'all, I am VictorÜ. I help provide insight to empower, and I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience with experimenting with the abundance mindset. Got my notes handy right here. And just to give a little background, I grew up in a very scarcity and survival oriented environment. So that's the mindset that I was operating under for a long time, and had a lot of beliefs, especially around money, based on experiences that I saw going through my childhood, but also I saw like my parents and my dad go through. And it's something that I'm still working on to this day, but the more I work on it, the more results I seem to reap from like the seeds that I sow of healing. And so what I wanted to talk about was the survivalist mindset, which is based off like I need more now. And it's built a lot on, I've seen, compromising integrity to one's values, or maybe a little bit more meta than that, not even knowing what we value or saying that we have certain values, and then where we actually put our time, energy, and money is in kind of opposition or contrast to the values that we espouse. Now, getting out of that survival scarcity mindset for me, not too long ago, was it's like spending frivolously and saying to myself, okay, I'm practicing abundance, when really I was not being financially prudent or responsible, right? If we think of money as a type of energy, right, the energy of money, the feeling of money, the concept of money, then how are we relating to it? And I have one memory in particular where my dad started a business with his brothers, and family drama. My dad gets fired, and I see him in our kitchen one day just looking distraught, defeated. He had a job, the very like lined up, are like people were looking for him because he's very good at what he does. But there was an immediate time right after he got fired by his brother, that he was just like very disoriented. It looked like he got gut checked or just punched in the face, and there's just like, hang on, let me collect myself. I just got rocked, kind of thing. And so, in my perspective, in my experience, I saw my dad and was affected by how he was affected, and it made me, in like one moment, there was a lot of sensation, a lot of energy, a lot of emotion that I didn't even know how to identify it or how to process it. And so these are what we call money wounds, or at least one way to frame it as it relates to money, and especially abundance. It's called a money wound. And if you don't know about it, look up Ken Honda. He specializes in this particular area and wound. But what, like, looking back, what I can see that I went through was not knowing, or being in a state of disconnection from safety, from security, from identity and the norm, which is what essentially is the wounding, the trauma, disconnection from safety. So what it brought about in me was that money is very precarious. It can be lost at any second. the security can be lost at any second without my knowing or my control over the situation or my ability to helplessness. And indeed, that's how a lot of my romantic relationships have played out as well. Mastin Kipp, a trauma researcher and amazing healer, author of Claim Your Power, which was instrumental to my healing, has stated that our relationship with money mirrors our relationship with the maternal or the feminine energy, with our mothers, in short. Right? Money can be nourishing. It can provide self-esteem and self-worth, and influenced by our mothers, I personally see the correlation. Now, in trying to heal my money wounds having to do with security, safety, one of the seeds that was planted along the way was that every time you go to spend, and there's a fear of like, oh shit, like I'm about to spend money. If there's that fear there, well, then this video is for you. And two, set the intention to overcome that fear. Bringing in what Ken Honda teaches, which is arigato money, thank you money. It's been helpful to me to shift the energy, to change the energy, to change the feeling of spending, of my relationship to money, to employ what he calls, he's a Japanese guy, arigato money, which is thank you money, right? Thank you, like I'll take like a quick pause, think and feel thank you money for like what I'm about to spend money on, be it groceries, be it shoes, be it, clothes. I think I express gratitude that money is helping me and allowing me to purchase what I need. And when I get money, again, arigato, thank you, money, because now that's going to enable me to, again, like spend money. So when it comes in, we express gratitude, and when it goes out, we express gratitude. And this has been, I would say, instrumental to healing my relationship with like the concept, the energy, the idea of money. Now, in tandem with that, and one of the things that I think I struggled with and I've seen other people struggle with is the fake it till you make it kind of thing, where a person is like, okay, abundance mindset, flip the switch and end up spending frivolously or irresponsibly. I forget who the person was, but they said, the better you manage your money, the more money you get to manage. And it really speaks for me to how, when I'm being responsible with my money, when I'm being mindful of it, checking my accounts, not like, again, checking myself to see if I'm coming from like a place of fear or a place of responsibility and supervision. In the Marines, that was like one of the biggest things in leadership, right? You plan, you make arrangements, you do reconnaissance, you issue orders, and you supervise. Supervision without micromanaging is instrumental to mission accomplishment, to manifestation, and manifesting what we want. So yeah, frivolous spending does not equal abundance. And right, we want to be responsible with money, with time, and with energy. These three kind of meta types of abundance, let's say. Another thing that has helped me was this phrase or mantra which is I have what I need now to get me to where I'm going later. And this is something that really impacted me today. Right, I have what I need to get my shit together now so that I'm in a much better place later on. I have money now, and like, it's kind of evidence, it's kind of proof. I had money, like I got money, therefore it's possible. I'm open to the possibility that more money somehow, some way, again without micromanaging, is going to come in later on. I'm going to be open to the possibilities, to the opportunities that are presented to me. And something that I wanted to like really, I don't want to say harp on, but at least acknowledge and point out, as it's been in my experience, was how my immaturity with money would have me believe that money's coming in later. Let's say with like the stimmy, the Biden bucks, the Kamala cash, memes. Because it's coming in later, I can just kind of spend recklessly, irresponsibly right now, and that bit me in the ass. Right, the word had gotten out that the stimulus checks were gonna come in on like April, like March or April, like March 1st or something. And I was in February, like, all right, whatever, I'm gonna spend. And then like they started coming in for people, but for veterans like me who are on disability, there was a delay, and it wasn't clear when that money was going to come in. But I was still like trying to be in that abundance mindset. April 1st came around, or like end of March, and they said, okay, the stimulus checks for veterans are going to come in first week of April. I'm like, okay, cool. Money's coming in April, first week of April, so I can spend money, because that money's going to come in $1,400, so I can spend like I have $1,400 now. And again, that got delayed until mid-April. It's like April 14th or 15th is when I got it. And the whole time, underneath the surface, I'm like, fuck. I was like so insecure and anxious about money. Same way I'm like, that was the relationship with my mom and like the maternal and feminine energy. But I would be spending money now with anxiety and kind of depending on more money coming in later at an unknown time. And the whole time I'm going through it, I'm like, not only really uncomfortable, but like really seeing how I act when I get anxious, when I get uncomfortable. And I had to like check my frustration, sit with my frustration, and really exercise and sit in patience and practice a little bit of like faith in the more pragmatic sense. So transitioning into this next part, I have the good qualities people are looking for. This more touches on like wherever you go, there you are. An example of this is going to Paris. There have been a lot of Americans who I've heard talk shit on the French and then go to France and then say they had a terrible experience. Me going to France, I was more looking for love and looking for how to fall in love. So that's the mentality I was under. That, and I'm a kind person and I'm patient with people. Therefore, let's see where that takes me. And again, wherever I went, there I was. That mindset followed me, and I ended up having an amazing time and meeting amazing people. So that I find that relates to money, in getting jobs, in remaining optimistic and open to the possibilities, and opportunities that tend to come my way. There was an experiment where people the researchers laid a 20 on someone's path, on two people's paths, an optimist and a pessimist. And the optimist was open to seeing the 20 on the ground. And the optimist, because they had their beliefs of good things don't happen to me, or good things don't happen to, let's say, like good people or something, subconsciously, they saw the 20. It was in their peripheral vision, but they just looked away because their mind was not open to disconfirming experiences that would disprove their pessimism or their cynicism. So with that, I can find more money. Being open to this possibility, this probability, or this belief is what allows us to go for a job that we otherwise wouldn't. Me, as an artist and a healer, for a long time I believed that those should only be my revenue streams. And it was very final, very permanent, which is more of a masculine energy, but that's for another time. And being more in flow, seeing a big part of this is also seeing that we're in this for the long run. Part of that survivalist mindset is how we need things right now, running in tangent, parallel to finality, getting the paycheck now and finding relief in that and using it like a life preserver or an oxygen tank, and going from oxygen tank to oxygen tank or check to check. And I think also running in tandem or parallel with that is I can find more, meaning more is coming, and I don't worry about the how. That's key in manifestation. Knowing what you want, let's say more money, more income, higher income, and not worrying about the how. Almost letting your spirit or your subconscious worry about the how, and just being open in that way to possibilities, that more is coming. And running in tandem with that was that any energy, time, money, love, education you invest in yourself, you get right back. So for me, that's looked like healing, acupuncture, physical therapy, getting x-rays on my shoulder where I have a really bad injury, therapy, and energy healing. Especially when I practice energy healing as an energy healer myself, as a spiritual healer. When I practice on other people, I feel myself also being healed. And it's been something that consistent that's kind of blown my mind, to be honest, and why I prefer to do it donation based rather than charge a fixed amount, is because I'm also being healed in that process. But really, in all these things, for me, like going to the doctor, getting x-rays, it's like saying to myself, I am worth maintaining. My health is worth maintaining. And that sends a signal to my subconscious, like, okay, I can relax a little bit. I can be in a state of ease rather than dis-ease. And as we know, staying in a state of dis-ease for prolonged periods of times creates dis-ease. We may say, as people in the meta community, that time is a structure or fake or not real, but it's very practically applicable. It's very pragmatic, time, and we can use time. We can play with time. But one of the most dire consequences or effects, the most real effects, is that which we practice, be it a state of being, a state of mind, a state of emotion. Practicing it, I mean, think of any actor or musician or sports athlete, thank you. Lost word there for a second. The more they practice, the better at it they get, because they practice over time. So the more that we practice being well, consuming positivity over long periods of time, the more we just make that our life, the more, like, the way I see it is like those are seeds, and I may plant them in the spring, but come, end of summer, fall, that's when I reap the rewards. And I think that's something that really fucked me up for a long time, being in that survivalist mindset, is I need to survive now. I need to know that I'm going to live now. So I would just reach for anything rather than plant seeds and trust that with a little time and attention, supervision, they would, there will be fruits to my labor. So any energy that we invest in ourselves, time, love, and self-care, education, money we invest in ourselves in courses, those effects ripple into the future, and they build on one another. So a big thing that I've seen in healing with myself and in my clients was that we can do a healing in the moment, and usually they feel something or they see something. Sometimes they don't feel anything, but usually within 3 days, there will be a shift. There'll be a change, a sort of that didn't happen before. Maybe I'm a little bit more aware than I usually would be. Usually this would trigger me, and somehow I'm just feeling a little bit more peaceful. A week later, there's more of those experiences, and they're suddenly building on one another. A month later, now they built on each other even more. 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later, and I've seen clients be in completely different situations than they were, almost completely different people than who they used to be, than who I used to be. So the effects definitely ripple and build on one another. So what seeds of abundance are you planting for yourself today that maybe you can practice faith that they'll bring fruit later on? And not just for you, but man, I used to be fucked up, and the people around me suffered my presence. And in healing myself and bettering myself and forgiving not just those who harmed me, but in forgiving myself, the people around me got a lot more relaxed and at ease, and then they ended up forgiving me, and there was this feedback loop of positivity and love and forgiveness. And from there, my mind opened up to the possibilities that I don't have to live in a survivalistic, scarce mindset. What seeds are you planting? Would a healing session in some way, be it a traditional Western doctor, traditional Chinese medicine, energy healers, not just me, they're out there if you look for them. What seeds can you plant for yourself that your future self will thank you for? Book a session, IamVictorY.com. If you like this video, please like it, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I love you. Peace.